If you are at home and you're sitting on your couch and you are watching this right now, all I have to say is that this is hard work. I've worked hard for a long time, and it's not about, it's not about winning, but what it's about is not giving up. If you have a dream, fight for it. There's a discipline for passion, and it's not about how many times you get rejected but you fall down or you're beaten up. It's about how many times you stand up and are brave and you keep on going. Thank you.
I was reading just this morning from John chapter 6. If you got a Bible, maybe just turn there really quick. But if you don't, let me just read this. It's this beautiful story. We know about it. It's the story where Jesus is teaching and thousands of people turn up. And Jesus looks out and notices with this big crowd of people that, people are going to get hungry. And this is what he says. This is John chapter 6, verse 5. When Jesus looked up and saw a great crowd coming toward him, he said to Philip, "Where shall we buy bread for these people to eat?" He asked this, watch this, only to test him. Put that in the chat right now. Only to test him. Sometimes God tests us. Sometimes God puts us through tests. Only to test him, for he already had in mind what he was going to do. That's encouraging, that there's some problems, there's some obstacles in front of you that God is testing how you will respond to the problem. But the good news is God already has a plan. God already has a solution. God already has an answer to your problem. Philip answered him, 8 months' wages would not buy enough bread for each one to have a bite. This text is really, really peculiar to me. We're going to sing one more time. I'm going to pray for you, but Jesus notices that there's going to be a problem, that people are going to need food, that people are going to be hungry. So Jesus asks Philip a certain question: where are we going to get the food? Notice what Philip's response is. Philip responds in the natural. Instead of answering Jesus's question correctly, Philip answers with the how. Well, I don't know how we're going to do it, because it's going to take 8 months' wages to feed all these people. There's no way we can do it. I don't know how I'm going to get through this season. I don't know how my marriage is going to make it. I don't know how my business will survive. I don't know how our church will move forward. So often, we always come back to Jesus with how. But I don't believe that Jesus wants us to respond with how. That's natural. I think Jesus wants us to respond with who. That's supernatural. Isn't that funny? How, H-O-W, so close to who, W-H-O. Same letters, wrong order. I got a feeling that some of you right now, you're looking at your situation, you're looking at your circumstance, you got the same letters, but you got the wrong order. It's not up to you to determine how. It's up to you to look to who. His name is Jesus Christ. He's the King of Kings. He's the Lord of Lords. Cast your vision higher. Look to the one where your help comes from. Come on, sing it out. Who? His name is Jesus. Who is the King of Kings? Who is the Lord of Lords? Come on.
I leave you with this question. Do you want to succeed? Are you willing to give yourself to what you want to accomplish? If you do, then you have to be ready to go through the process. The 3 steps that I shared: step 1, learning never stops. Step 2, just do it. And step 3, focus on giving your best, not getting the best.
Be patient. Everything in life will go exactly how it's supposed to go. At times you will feel like an outcast, that you don't fit in, but you will discover that being your own clique will be your strongest attribute. In life, you're going to face many challenges, many moments of adversity. There are going to be a lot of successes and some failures too. Those moments are going to create your character, build your integrity, and they will become your beauty marks. On your journey in life, you may hear a lot more no's than yeses, but you'll let those moments motivate you, and those that said no will eventually wish they would have said yes. And to every girl listening out there, you will forever be empowered by knowing that no one, absolutely no one, can close the door that God has opened for you.
I think it's the loneliest thing in the world to have people around you, but you can't really touch them and connect with them for who you really are, because you just keep trying to give them who you think you're supposed to be. I think we all have spots. I used to not think that. I used to think certain people didn't. I used to be embarrassed because I thought I was the weird one. But I think we all have spots. I think we all have insecurities. We don't wear them on the outside so the priest can't see them. We don't wear them on the outside so sometimes even the people who love us can't see what we really wrestle with. We all have spots.
I have 2 pencils here. One is obviously the better candidate, right? It has a new eraser, it looks new, it's sharp and it's ready to write. And then you look at this one and the eraser's almost gone because it's made so many mistakes, right? And it's so burned and it's short and it's broken, right? It feels like it can't be enough. Well, let me show you something here. If you just write with this pencil, right? It still can write. And then if you go with this broken pencil, it still writes. So no matter how broken you are, you can still write your story. No matter if you don't have any problems or any stress, if you have so many problems and you've made so many mistakes, you still have the same value. You can still write your story. What kind of story are you gonna write? Broken pencils can still write. It's all in your mindset.
Prayer expresses trust in God. Listen, when we begin prayer, prayer is not first and foremost about telling God about what we need. In fact, Jesus clears this up in Matthew chapter 6. Matthew chapter 6, Jesus actually says, hey, your Father already knows what you need. Meaning the first reason why we pray is not to declare to God what we need, but rather the first reason why we pray is because we're expressing to God that we trust in Him. In fact, as you discover and as you read the Bible over and over again, when it comes to the topic of prayer, prayer over and over again is reinforced with this idea that we're to pray with faith. What is faith? Faith is this dependence. It is this belief that God, I need you not just for a moment in my life, but I need you daily, active in my life. And so the first reason I pray is because I'm going, God, I actually trust in you. I love what A.W. Tozer said. He said this, he said, trust God in the dark until...
One of the things that's happening in this season for all of us is God is not only teaching us to appreciate certain blessings, but He is resetting the baseline of what we consider a blessing.
Here's how you know if someone's your friend. A, you can tell them bad news and they'll listen. They won't tell you why, you're stupid and why that bad thing happened to you and how something worse happened to them once and, derail the whole conversation. You can actually tell them bad news and they'll listen. So that's a good thing. And then this is a weirder thing. You can tell them good news and they'll help you celebrate. And that's a really good way of deciding who you should have around you. And so you want to surround yourself, you got to think about this. You got to surround yourself with people who want the best for the best part of you.
I'm tired of giving my all and never being enough. I'm tired of changing for people who don't even recognize my change. I'm tired of crying myself to sleep at night and waking up in the morning and not recognizing myself. I'm tired of not being thin enough or pretty enough. I'm tired of not being enough.
I just feel good today.
You always have to feel good. I mean, why waste your life in sadness when you can enjoy a life of happiness? Basically, everyone around me inspires me in one way or another. I want to inspire the world. I can't just sit there and mourn at my fractures and my disability and be like, oh man, see those dudes, they're doing so good. I was never like that.
Come on, man.
I ain't never been like that.
Never ever.
We are told that if we're beautiful, if we're skinny, if we're successful, famous, if we fit in, if everyone loves us, that we'll be happy. But that's not entirely true.
Nothing outside of yourself will make you happy unless you're truly happy inside.
There are a lot of people with tons of money who aren't happy because either they become a prisoner of their money, or they become so consumed with getting money that they don't allow time for happiness.
Sometimes you might get everything that you thought you wanted only to realize that wasn't really it.
So if you are looking for fame to define you, then you will never be happy, and you will always be searching for happiness, and you will never find it in fame.
that you love me.